that's what I believe. See his sunshine is all around us, and there are beautiful clouds where you are. That's how I know that these worries will not last. I can see you've been crying and staying wide awake, asking yourself why the journey is so tough. They say tough times never last, only tough people do. So don't stop believing, I know it's gonna be better. Say la, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, la, 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 ba-dum. Can't be loved by everybody, it's impossible, you know. And trust me, it's okay, so let the toxic people go. Your peace within is more priceless than a pearl. You got to be happy, cause life's just way too short. Don't stress the little things, they will only waste your time. Just take it easy, easy like a nursery rhyme. And I'm singing, I know it's gonna be okay. So I wanna see you smile today. Hey, you just gotta be happy, man. Good days, bad days, it's all part of life. But you must keep the groove on and enjoy every single day. I'm sure you've had some happy days before. So what makes you think you can't have more? Keep on fighting and you'll see. You will soon see rainbows. Hey, come on! La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Beautiful clouds, where you are, where you are. There are beautiful clouds, where you are, where
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, good morning. Thank you very much for joining the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. My name is Aldo Moore. It's always a pleasure to come your way. Today is the 16th of April 2026, and this is the day the Lord has made. Indeed, we're glad in it. I want to say a big thanks to you, our cherished and valued listeners, viewers, listeners and viewers, for tuning in at 7 a.m. all the way from 7 a.m. to 9:55 to watch the show. We're really, really grateful and thankful to you for making time to be with us or to join us. And also, let me say I want a big thanks to the Almighty God for making it possible for us to return here to join the nation's conversation, the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. Let's go straight ahead and look at what the papers are reporting this morning. So I'll start with the Daily Graphic. Daily Graphic this morning says President charges Ghanaians to lead healthy lifestyles, launches free primary health care program, file income tax returns by end of April, GRA. Immigration rescues 305 trafficked West African nationals. And there's also OSP unfazed by power to prosecute ruling. Free primary health care to support NHIS, not replace it. President Mahama. OSP can't prosecute without AG's authorization, according to High Court. Government reduces diesel petrol prices. As GIS begins phase 2 of anti-street begging operation. Daily Guide this morning is reporting that Stop State-Sponsored Harassment, MPP to government. Interior Ministry imposes curfew on Karaga and Gushewu. There's OSP has no power to prosecute. There's High Court. There's yes, according to the High Court, there's police seeks 22 slabs of cocaine, 400,000 cedis in narcotics bust. Girl 4 dies from sexual assault. The Insight this morning says Pratt slams reform UK visa threats on reparations. And then there's a Mahama. He says non-communicable diseases driving Ghana's health crisis. And there's towards reviving Ghana's blue economy. VIP launches Ghana's 700-kilometer maritime reserve. And then there's also government cuts fuel prices to cushion Ghanaians against rising petroleum prices due to U.S.-Israeli war on Iran. High Court orders AG to take over OSP prosecutions. Why Angola's debt to Cuba is unfinished. The Daily Post is reporting this morning that 2024 election results vindicates Mahama after 2020 petition dismissal. Chachuchi Kata. Mahama launches landmark free primary health care program to tackle disease burden and achieve universal coverage. Samuel Oku flees from his own lies against Ghana Maritime Authority. The Daily Searchlight is reporting that Stop Attacking Our Men, according to the MPP, accuses the government of political victimization of arrest of communicator Baba Amando. And there's We Will Pay You Back in 2029. Justin Kodua signals political payback as MPP accuses NDC of state harassment. High Court strips OSP of prosecutorial powers, but OSP resorts to Facebook in slap back. And the Business and Financial Times, overhaul sovereign debt framework. BOG Governor urges IMF. CD post best Q1 in half decade. Isiama calls for urgent global reforms as Africa faces slower growth outlook. And then there's also VEB, Energy Minister, business leaders to chart Africa's future at Ismail Yamsing and Associates Business Roundtable 2026. All right, so that's it for the newspaper review. Let me go online quickly and look at what the online portals are reporting this morning. I'll start, as usual, with I'll start with my Joe Online that says, fuel relief not from government. Comac CEO says fuel cards are industry burden. And also OSP has grounds to appeal High Court decision on prosecutorial powers, Professor Appiaje Etia. And then if you go to the City newsroom, there are some interesting stories there as well. What's there? Let me check that out. It says that Chachuchi Katasal residents deserve reparations over historic injustice. Government won't claw back fuel relief costs from consumers, according to the Energy Ministry. There's a Penka partly accepts blame for lack of OSP authorization. And then if you go to Ghana Web, now Ghana Web also has some interesting stories there. We're told that Ghanaian man jailed 16 years for killing deaf woman in the UK. Ex-player Prince Tego marks, sorry about that. Marks makes serious allegations against Stone Boy. And there's a what Nana Osei in Tifo's case means for chieftaincy and family. Let's now look at what's on Metro TV. That's Metro TV online.com. It says Mohamed Kudus is at the heart of both Tottenham and Ghana's parallel crisis. And there's also GPL matches postponed after tragic death of Dominic Frimpong. And there's hope for every child. World Vision Ghana targets 2.8 million children in 2026 to 2030 plan. And there's explain why fuel prices are set to fall in Ghana despite rising global oil costs. All right, so that's it for the newspaper and the online review. Please stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana. I have a special guest for you today. You don't want to miss it. And well, I can tell you, he's the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. He's making time to join us on the show. Stay with us because it promises to be a very, very interesting interaction and a very interesting conversation. Don't go anywhere.
Tanumo onunchoni ha o dangma chichele we kun oyanu tumo osole moji ake oba wona ni ko aya ko baba shosho amen.
The ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
Mommy, good morning.
Hello. Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery,
Hey.
which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana colorectal center, aimed to serve a peculiar health need.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Hey, me now they see. Hey, you look fresh. Oh.
Hey.
With your label today. Me.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
Ghana for me chechi amuni nara me din ede baby dapa me di ade sonko kra na ebremo nya ode to aduane mu ama waduane e dapa na me de bremo eno any some spices dey emu wa wo bebre o various flavors ubenya eya akoko ubenya nantwie ye de ku jollof mu ma emu ye de ubenya ye de ku nkwan ye de ku froye mu ho na kope bito na ema waduane enye de unyiminia ye nkon ye konko tie nyankofo eka
autant de communication ni enjoy uduba that some spices one in the essence no why I'm taking the Dariaga some spices in a sabi daddy so say some spices mun some
spices nyama chicken
some spices
Nsaka in Ketwa, measure 10 grams. Your chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, can jollof, any flavors. Apple do bebre.
Some spices, yes, Saka.
FDRJ jadien kratwe yatum.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
Hey, Unia, new release niana. Kaya gum.
A bitino was me new release. Me can no access fit mu hono. And na Tabletech Garages Limited. Akwafa besia amana aye nitia. Obi ase ye car mu no.
Accident car no na. Tabletech Garages Limited. Amana se gina ne naso sa no.
Me se wo. Wo mu akwafa broni fita engineer afira brochiraba. And wo check cars no. Na wo hunu ba bi a fault krowo. And ho spare parts so de hyehyɛ. Afele si road. And so ho charges kakra bi o.
Tabletech Garages Limited.
Wo ye general servicing. Ebi engine overhauling, engine tuning, oven spraying, general electrical works, air condition installation work, BMU, upholstery, gearbox, make a day.
Tabletech Garages Limited.
Apart from sir, car that wotimi ato, and now our Toma one was science importation of cars and who spare parts. If la butreba, woko to car mawa, a free.
Hey, also what you kwawin.
Tabletech Garages Limited. Our La Paz Malam Road. After Bayard traffic light. Wow. Bibiania for 0206. 48 17 and 3 and now 0542 96 11 11. Website tabletechghana.com.
Tabletech Garages Limited.
Hey, kaya wo bia benyane.
Tabletech Garages Limited.
Your car beauty and the power boosters.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy mouthful. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man swing, Nesanso Mama Hoto so a will bedroom.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste.
Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Looking for the ultimate oil city getaway? Welcome to the Groove Ethipon Beach Resort, where luxury meets adventure. Host your meetings and events in our fully equipped conference facility. Relax our sparkling pool, unwind in cozy rooms, satisfy your cravings at our scenic restaurant, and enjoy fun-packed recreational activities and a walk through our charming menus. Whether it's business, leisure, or pure escape, the Groove is your perfect destination.
Hey, Bunty, why you there? One lie, tell her today will give me my money.
Oh, my guy, what's up? Oba un 17 and dede baby. Scan on ASA. 500 cities per. Ah.
Hey, I see. Level don't change. But to show me the way.
But there's some sorry, Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Shisha kwa mpa edubeko nkunimdie mu. Call wada.on.us na me sign up. Ema ore mfi se udi wo telephone number so ebeka ho uwie a. Afei, be games no emu. Shisha one shot game. Fasika kume bitu ho. Afei, number se free 0 to 99. Yedie wakumape. Na obenya sika dia free 50 Ghana cedis. Kopim 500 Ghana cedis.
Hey, so it be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wanaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
Baby.
Boom!
You be too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
All right, so you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM, so please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. When I began the show this morning, I promised you that I was going to be hosting a very special guest today. He's joined us in the studio. He's the NPP's General Secretary. Young, affable, but very energetic and a very hardworking gentleman who's been steering the affairs of the party in the last few years. Yesterday, his party held a news conference and was very, very critical of the NDC government on how they've handled dissent. And there have been some other issues that we'll speak to him about. He's taking time off his very busy schedule to join us this morning. We're very grateful for that as well. Mr. Justin Kodua, good morning. Thank you very much for joining the show.
Good morning, Moro. And it's a pleasure to be on your studio.
Yes. When I say finally, it's just the two of us who understand that expression.
Yes, and I pray that it remains so.
Fantastic.
I pray that it remains so.
Fantastic. He's so busy. I mean, we've been trying to get him in the studio for some time now. Myself, my producer, Bright, and for some reason, something always comes up. But finally, he's here. You know, there's a very popular expression in Chile, they say, so you're here. But how have you been? How are you? How's the family, party, you know, everybody?
Oh, Mo, let me once again greet you and your cherished viewers also.
Right.
I've been doing great, and the party has also been doing great. And as you are aware, so many activities has gone on since we lost the elections.
Right.
As part of doing a post-election analysis or assessment of what really happened in the 2024 elections. And again, the party also started our reorganization exercise. And we've done so much activities. I'm going to Legon in somewhere July 2025 to do some amendments to our constitution to reflect the current situations in our country politics and also for future issues or matters that may come up. And we have successfully also held our presidential primaries, whereby we elected His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia as our flag bearer for the 2028 elections. And we are in the process of starting our internal elections from the polling station through to national elections. So all is well, and I'm happy with the calmness and stability that we are currently enjoying in our party. So far, everything is going as according to plan in the New Patriotic Party.
Mm-hmm. There's a certain sense that the MPP is still not very clear in its mind how it lost the 2024 election in such a catastrophic manner, and that you're repeating the same mistakes that you repeated whilst in government, and so you haven't learnt your lessons. Perhaps you should be in a position for a very long time. How do you respond to people who say these things?
Well, I would find it difficult to comprehend the reasoning or rationale behind such a suggestion or perception by whoever or people who may hold on to that. Because one, we are not in government, so it's difficult for someone to, or for me to understand or appreciate the argument that we have not learned lessons when we're in government, because we are not in government again. And two, as a party, we didn't sit on the fence when we lost the elections. As I indicated to you, we constituted a committee chaired by revered Professor Aaron Michael Kwe, to go around the 16 regions, the 276 constituencies, and also to find out from the rank and file members of our party, and also even across the general public, to also ascertain what really happened in the 2024 elections. But Moro, let's establish the fact that what happened in 2024, though very disappointing to us as a party, because we went to elections and we wanted to win the elections. It didn't happen, so therefore it's a disappointment. But if we look at the historical electoral results, it's no news. Because since 1992, every political party stays in office for 8 years. So you can say that it was following that trend of whereby a political party stays in office for 8 years and another political parties also comes in. However, yes, you can make further comments or further analysis that maybe the way we lost the elections, the margin, and even the seats that we also lost is something that maybe has never happened before. But again, in 2016, when we won the elections with 169 seats, it has never also happened. So always there's a first time for everything. And as a party, we can't continue to be accusing and counter-accusing ourselves. We need to move forward. We need to find prognosis of as to what really happened and take steps to address those issues. We all know that the results that the MPP got in 2020, we didn't get the same results in 2024. And if we look at the figures closely, we realize that we lost about close to 2 million votes. The votes that we had in 2020, we lost about 2 million getting to the 2024 elections. NDC did not increase significantly because they only increased by 100,000. So it will be safe to conclude or make the analysis that we lost the elections because people who voted for us did not turn up to vote in the 2024 elections. It's not that they came out to vote for the NDC. So therefore, as a party, if we are able to identify the reasons why those who voted for us in 2020 decided not to vote for the party in 2024, then we are halfway through finding the solutions and also correcting the mistakes that might have happened in the 2024 election. And we are on course. We have been able to identify the reasons. There are some that are internal. There are some that we also suffer because of the global crisis that were prevailing. And Many governments during the 2023, 2022, 2024 lost the elections. Many incumbent governments lost the election as a result of the prevailing economic hardship that engulfed many governors. So as a party, on our side, those issues that caused our defeat, that created apathy. So for a political party to lose elections, or a party in government to lose elections, one of the key factors is apathy. People failing to turn up to vote. And for the internal one, we identified that the way some of our internal elections were conducted also contributed to apathy of people not turning out to vote. And has the party been able to take steps to address those issues? Yes. One, issue had to do with people who were once upon a time executives of the party, who are no more executives of the party, i.e. constituency executives. People who became members of parliament, who served 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms, but after they exited, they felt that the party had ignored them and therefore decided to sit on the fence. One of the key things that we did in amending our constitution was to make a provision for former executives to also have a voting right, which brings a level of inclusivity so that they know they have not been left out. So that step that we took as a party really re-energized the base of our party. And people were excited that for the first time, people who had been executives in the 90s, in 2000s, felt that the party is now recognizing the work that they did when they were executives. And they can leave the house and tell their family, we are going for MPP meetings, we are going for to vote to elect who becomes our presidential candidate. So it's something that has really brought back the love which hitherto was lost. Secondly, one of the challenges that we had as a party also had to do with our communication. And it's something that anyone who has taken a closer look at the history of the New Patriotic Party will agree that historically, we have suffered to deal with propaganda from our opponents, from the days of UGCC through to UP, to PP, to PFP, and even MPP. And have you made an attempt to address this? Yes. In our constitution, we've inserted for the first time what we refer to as communications committee. Hitherto, we just had a communication director. So the communication activities were run based on the ideas and vision of one particular person, which is the communication director. But now we have a communications committee, people who will sit back, analyze our communication structure, come out with a well-sound policies and strategy to shape our discussions, how to respond to propaganda, how to sell our candidate, how to sell our ideology. So something that has been captured in our constitution. Then again, as a political party, it's not just about winning elections. It's about staying in power so that you can continue with your policies and ideologies. MPP, for me, I would say on any day, are better managers of the economy than the NDC. But however, when we win elections and take the helm of affairs, we tend to forget that there's another elections coming up. So therefore, we don't really plan for immediate, medium, and even long-term elections as a political party. And it's something that we took notice of, and we know that it's one of the reasons why we even lost the 2024 elections. Because we didn't need to wait for 2024 because as a party, we had strategy or developed our manifesto. So for the first time also, we've inserted what we refer to as the political strategy and policy committee in our constitution to have people who will sit, plan in the short term, medium, and long term for the party. This has been achieved. Then as a political party, Moro, certainly you have a tradition, you have a history, you have an ideology. MPP is a center-right party. But how many of our members know that the MPP is a center-right party? Or do people understand the history of our party, how our forefathers fought, the principles that they held on to, the conviction that they had to withstand all the temptations, all the restrictions, all the arrest, detention that they went through, so that new members of our party, the younger generation, will appreciate what our forefathers went through And as a political party, how do we communicate? If you're a communicator of the party, what are supposed to be the do's and don'ts? If you're a party officer, what are you supposed to do? That is why the party, for the first time, has also instituted what we refer to as the Patriotic Institute, which we launched it last year. So the essence of the Patriotic Institute is to develop a level of patriotism and to a level of commitment among the rank and file of our party to appreciate our ideology.
How's the patronage?
And so far is overwhelming.
Okay.
And but we are doing it in a gradual phases.
Okay.
Right. So that at least we're still on course. We've done some for our TikTokers, our social media communicators. We've done some for communicators. We've done some for our party officers. So we are not looking at just the short term. We are looking at the long term also, whereby the Patriotic Institute will become an institute of training for officers, for members of our party, and also to canvas for people to understand our ideology and also to buy into it. So that has also been instituted. Again,
one of these days when you join us, we'll have a whole conversation about ideology and whether it still matters in contemporary politics. It's something that keeps coming up all the time.
Yes.
There's a certain view that you both have come to the center. You're doing what we call pragmatism, which is what works today.
Yes.
But that's another conversation we'll have some other time. But that's fine. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, so there again also, one of the challenges that we experienced in the 2024 elections has to do with a clearly defined roles and functions for officers of the party. Because there were certain times that you get to some regions, you get to some constituencies, and there was serious dispute of factionalism even among the executives. And many of them stem from the fact that people were not in tune with their roles. And there were some conflicting issues as to who does what. Because you realize the first vice, second vice chairman may be accusing the chairman, the organizer will be accusing the woman organizer, youth organizer accusing the Nasara that he or she is taking his job. And at the point, it became murky. So the party, in our attempt to address all these issues and to make sure that there's a clearly defined function for officers of the party, has constituted an ad hoc committee, which is chaired by former chairman, revered Chairman McMahon, to come out with what we refer to as Party Officers Manual, which from national chairman, general secretary, though the constitution talks slightly about some of the rules, but this one is going to be an extensive or detailed functions and rules of party officers, so that we are clear that if you are a constituency chairman, these are your rules and functions. If you're a second vice, first vice, deputy secretary, these are rules, and so that you will not have any form of ambiguity and any forms of contention as to who does what. So those are the things that the party is currently doing. So we've learned lessons from the 2024 elections. And I remember that in this same program, I was watching you commended the party on how we're able to successfully conduct our presidential primaries. So all these are steps towards addressing the issues that caused our defeat in 2024 elections.
Now, there's a certain view that the MPP is struggling for relevance. And so at the slightest issue that comes up in our political landscape, you jump on it and do a news conference. Now, it is because you feel that this government is doing so well, and so you have to find a way to make the government look unpopular. You don't mean well for this country. So yesterday, you did a press conference as one of those, list of press conferences that you have, which some people say are not necessary. You did a press conference yesterday, and you have raised two fundamental issues: political persecution, judicial overreach, and judicial persecution. Help us understand where you're coming from.
Bro, I don't think, looking at the stature of the New Patriotic Party and how we have contributed to the development and democratic progress of this party, for anyone to think that MPP will be seeking relevance at this time. You can go back as far back as 1992. many cases that the New Patriotic Party took to court. MPP versus Attorney General, 31st December case. To 4 versus Attorney General. Various issues when it comes to our electoral progressions. The various interventions, various proposals that were put forward by the New Patriotic Party, which shaped our political fortunes and has gotten us to where we are now. So definitely, the Fourth Republic, if you have to restrict ourselves to the Fourth Republic, there's no way you can talk about Ghana's democracy without talking about the positive and significant impact that the New Patriotic Party has placed. So this is not the time for us to seek relevance. We are already relevant in our political space. Again, what is the duty of an opposition party? It's the duty of an opposition party to make sure that it brings to light many misfortunes, many mishappenings, many corrupt, many scandals, many issues that were engulfed in the government. That is a job of a political party, opposition political party. So were people expecting that when things are wrong in this country, we will keep mute and will not talk about it? We will talk about it. We will raise issues. We will let the public know what the government said when it was in opposition and the thing that they are doing now that they have power. So therefore, it's not a question of us having nothing to do and seeking relevance and therefore be holding press conference. The question is, the press conference that we are beholding as a party, have people also had the time to interrogate the issues that are raised in the press conference? Are they sound argument or you are just making noise? That is where maybe I want us to situate the discussions. For instance, yesterday we held a press conference addressed by myself and the national organizer. And we raised some issues. Let us interrogate those issues. Are they sound? Did we have a basis to even do that press conference? One, it has to do with a gentleman who is our communication officer for Sunan East. Somewhere last week, he received invitation from the Bono police headquarters that they needed him to come and assist with some investigation. He informed the hierarchy of the party, and we instructed Lawyer Tua, the former Deputy Attorney General, to escort him to the invitation by the Ghana police. So they went there on Monday. And when they got to the Bono police headquarters, they were then informed that they have not invited him. And therefore, they don't know even the issues that has led them to the headquarters. And some calls were made, and only to be told that he's needed in Accra, but not in the Bono police headquarters. One, it raises issues which are stated in our constitution. Mind you, we are governed by our constitution. We are governed by rules of law. What does the constitution says? Whenever a person is restricted, arrested, or detained, it is the duty of that arresting officer or detaining officer to communicate to the person the reasons why he's being restricted, he's being detained, or being arrested immediately. And that is very well captured in Article 14.2 of the 1992 Constitution, because the Constitution understands that the fundamental human rights and freedom is something that we cannot compromise. It's something that is enshrined in our Constitution. And there's a reason why the framers of the Constitution instituted that provision. So at that material moment, they arrested him, detained him, and drove him straight from Bono, Sunyani to Accra, without even informing him of the reasons why he has been arrested, detained, and is being moved to Accra.
Did he ask?
No. At the end of the day, it is your duty. The Constitution says that it's the duty of the person accosting that arrest to explain and to give reasons. Fast forward, he got to Accra. It was in Accra that he was told of what he has done. And I asked the national organizer and the minority leader, because I was a bit far from the police headquarters, to rush to the police headquarters together with our lawyers, MP for Menchia South, lawyer Barfor, and lawyer Farquhar, to also be there. Then, when discussions went on, he was granted what we refer to as police inquiry bill, pending investigation, further investigation by the police service, Ghana Police Service. Fine, no problem. Then on the next day, he was arraigned before the circuit court. And when they went to court, normally, because the police granted the police inquiry bill, if you take the person to court, then it's resides on the court to also grant him bail or not. But, Moro, you know that normally, before a court decides to grant bail or to remand the person, it is normally based on the argument that are put forward by the prosecution.
Right.
And there's a reason behind it, that the prosecution will ask the court that there are two scenarios. For the safety of the accused, let's remand him for his own safety. And two, where there's a belief that the accused may interfere in the investigation, then they also ask the court to remand the person. Either than that, in most cases, the accused is granted bail. In this scenario, the prosecution were asked by the court that will they need the accused before they can do their investigation. The response from the prosecution, we will need him as and when it becomes necessary. One. Then two, the judge also went ahead. So how long will it take you to conduct your investigation? Then the prosecution said, within 1 to 2 weeks. Then the judge asked again, so will you need him to do your investigation? And the prosecution also responded, because it's more of a cyber issue, the technical people will handle those cyber issue matters. But however, when we need him, we will call him. Then, based on that, without the accused inviting the court to remand him, the judge so much made the pronouncement that therefore I'm reminding you for 2 weeks.
But that's strange.
Yes, so Moro, you see,
that's very strange.
It's totally strange, absurd, and a disgrace to the judiciary. And you feel that as a party, you should not raise these issues. Then one of your colleagues asked me, but counsel, the judge can also have discretionary power to decide to remand the person. But again, the Constitution and Article...
Yeah, but there must be sound logical basis.
Yes, the Constitution and Article 296 makes that statement that where a judge is vested with a discretionary power, that discretionary power should not be used capriciously.
Yes.
It must be used in a fair and candid manner.
Right, arbitrarily and capriciously.
Yes.
Yes.
So if a judge makes such a pronouncement, then it gives room for us also to make several interpretations. That indeed you are biased. Indeed you have an interest. Indeed you seem to be singing the song of the government. So that is the issue with respect to Baba Amandu. Two, we also seriously have issues with the manner in which the IGP and some of his officers, I will not generalize it, the IGP and some of these officers, because the cyber security unit is stationed at the IGP's office. The selective and the hypocrisy in which they deal with issues that comes to them. Of course, there's a reason why the Criminal Offences Act and the Electronic Communications Act make provision for where a person publishes some false information. There's a process towards it. It's an offense. So be it. But at the end of the day, it is becoming clear that the IGP is interested in matters or issues that people who are critics of the government raises or talk about. One gentleman, Denta Kumi, was arrested, detained, and arraigned before the court for certain comments that he made. Asantuaba Kwame was the same vein, arrested, detained, and arraigned before the court. AY, I have a host of them. In fact, even last 2 weeks, there's a man of God called William Jima, whose church is Elohim International Ministry. I think I've gotten the name right. Who also criticized the government and made certain statements against the government, which has to do with LGBTQ. And he was also arrested and arraigned before court and remanded. As we say, crime has no expiring date. And if it was wrong during President Kufuor's era, and IGP happened to be the deputy IGP then, what stopped him from also taking on certain people within this government who were then in opposition for certain unpalatable, derogatory, denigrating statements that were made? I can mention names. Basintali posted on his Facebook wall, in fact, on several interviews, mentioned certain words which I don't even want to say here, accusing former vice president, the then candidate of the New Patriotic Party, of having done certain things which is even contrary to his religious belief. The videos are there. So, Mr. IGP, the question is, why haven't you also invited Basintali? Sam George also made similar statements, accusing the Kufuor government of supporting LGBTQ, of trying not to pass the bill because he's in bed with LGBTQ people. Has he been invited? Because as I indicated, crime has no expiration date. That is why there are certain issues that happen. And the police may take 5 years and 10 years, and some cases that we may think that is dead. The police will go back and bring those issues because crime has no expiration date. So if these things happen, and there are people who have said and made similar statements, and even harsher statements, and post about certain respectable personalities in the country or the previous government, if we are calling people who are critics of this government, then it is also fair that also extends such invitation to those people who committed those falsehood. So that is not what we are seeing now. So now it has become very clear that we have people who are loved by the IGP, people who belong to this government who are untouchable, and people who are critics of this government, and therefore the law is not on their side. And moreover, one worry trend is that certain people who are arrested, detained, and arraigned before the court, it is becoming clear that it is only some few judges that these cases are sent to. You can do your check and find out that there are particular judges that whenever a person is arrested, detained, and arraigned before the court, then it goes straight to those judges. Why? Don't you have many judges in this country? Why does it have to be particular judges? And all accused people who have been arraigned before those judges, certainly you can predict the outcome, that they'll be remanded. So no wonder people are even referred to some judges as remand judges, because for them, their duty is to do the hatchet job for the Ghana police and the NDC. So when these things happen, it becomes an issue for us, because at the end of the day, we always say that power is transient and no condition is permanent. Just as you sit in your studio and criticize the NPP government in 2029 for certain excesses, we expect that the media should also be doing the same. We are not saying that we should be above the law, but there should be respect and emphasis on due process. Keyword, due process. Secondly, another astonishing matter and worrying matter has to do with the behavior of Iyoko. Honorable Kofi Dwuma, the former CEO, is it
Gihog
Distilleries. As I speak to you now,
a former Asokwa MP.
A former Asokwa MP. It's been over a year that Iyoko confiscated his cars. And he has provided documents to show ownership of those cars. But as I speak to you, his cars has not been returned to him.
Why?
Why? Bro, ask yourself, why? What is happening?
What kind of investigation is the Yoko doing so that it's finding it difficult that over a year is unable to come to conclusion to decide and to determine whether the car belongs to him or not, when he has provided documents to prove that he is the owner of those cars? Just last Monday, Yoko personnel raided his house in Kumasi. And you ask yourself, how can you just walk or barge into someone's house without a court warrant? Just to barge into his house under the pretext that you are coming to invite him for a program on May 1st. Only to get to the house and forcefully break into his house and start ransacking his properties because you claim you are looking for certain information. And that's why it comes back to the point. Article 296, when you have discretionary power, it should be used judiciously, but not as a means of trying to antagonize, victimize, or persecute your opponents. And that is an issue that we have as a political party. In any case, what stopped Iyoko, if indeed, genuinely, they wanted to establish some information? You could have gotten court warrant. Because there is a reason why there is a need to get court warrant, so that at least you know the law is on your side. And even if there's an emergency situation, and that emergency situation arises when the court is not in session, for instance, Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, something is happening that if you don't take steps, by the time Monday comes, it would have been too late. So you ask yourself, the 12 noon that they went to his house, wasn't court in session? What stopped them from going to the court to get court warrant? And this is a person who is a known figure. And I don't see how you invite Kofi Dwuma or you go to his house, inform him that we have reasonable belief that they are holding certain information which is needed by the state. Then when he denies and prevents you from having access, then you can have a claim. But you can't just barge into someone's house and start ransacking, destroying his properties.
Do you know it as a matter of fact that Iyoko stormed his house without a court warrant?
Yes, I know.
As a matter of fact?
Yes, because I've had discussions with him.
Okay.
And everything I'm saying is based on his information that he has given to me.
Okay.
Unless they will challenge that that's not the case,
right,
which we would demand that they provide a court warrant.
Okay.
So if all these things happen, someone will raise the issue that, okay, this MPP tenure, were we angel? Or this issue never happened. Well, if this issue happened, raise it up. But at the end of the day, the NDC then in opposition, President Mahama made several statements that what? He's coming to reset the country. He's coming to improve on things that he believed was wrong. So if you are coming in and you are even doing worse, then what was the campaign promise of coming to reset the country and to bring the country back to, as you stated, in the glorious days? So that is the issue that we have. But, Moro, I'll end on this point by saying that NDC should be careful. And sometimes politicians, we tend to forget that there will be another election. And just as they've lost elections before, they will lose the 2028 elections. But in 2029, we will not expect them, but we will not expect you to come and sit on your studio and start attacking and accusing the MPP government of witch hunting the NDC members, because they have set the precedent. Because when they had the opportunity to make sure that they acted fairly, they decided to rely on witch hunting and persecution. Ghanaians are relying on the NDC. They are expecting the NDC to account for the things that they said when they were in opposition. The thing that concerns Ghanaians has to do with the promises that the NDC candidate Mahama made of improving on their living conditions, of getting them jobs, of increasing cocoa prices. Those are the things that Ghanaians want to hear. They want to see from the government, but not witch hunting political opponents just in an attempt to gag them from criticizing the government. But this will not stop us. This will not tie our hands. We shall continue to expose them.
All right. Now, General, let me ask you this. For a political party that is hoping that sooner rather than later you're given the opportunity to govern again, what it means is that you need to let Ghanaians know that you are You have learned some lessons from what is happening to you in 2024. You're prepared to do better, etc. Shouldn't you be seen, in as much as criticizing the government for not doing the right things, to also to be seen to be calling out some of these party supporters who are engaged in acts that quite clearly is also not right? Even though, yes, it may have happened in the past, you have said that we need to move forward, we need to do things better. We don't have to be racing to the bottom, basically. In all of this, I haven't heard you say that the NPP as a political tradition is also not happy with the behavior of some of these gentlemen. You've mentioned about 4 of them or so. Is it to suggest that you endorse what they've done? Is that a suggestion?
You see, Moro, we need to understand and appreciate where we are as a country and be able to differentiate between matters which destabilizes the country, matters which can cause fear and panic, and matters which are expressions of some people's belief. We need to understand that. Ghana is not the only country practicing democracy. In fact, you go to several advanced countries, governments make certain pronouncements. The opposition party, the critics, they take them on. In fact, to the extent that they make even caricature of some of the statements that you have made. And more, I know you've been traveling around the globe, and you know all these things. So how is it different from what is happening in this country? My advice would be that the government should be able to understand issues which goes with the democracy that we are practicing and the right of people to express their opinion. Because to be honest, I do not personally see an issue whereby you failed in your promise to pass LGBTQ bill and someone takes you on, and that's a caricature of you that you have failed as a president, as a government. Moro, how does that in itself create fear and panic? Because the essence of the false publication does not end with just the false publication. It's about the effect, the ramification of that false publication. Is it creating that fear and panic? What is your understanding of fear and panic? However, if the issue had been that a person is accusing the president of having some awkward meetings to bring mercenaries to attack opposition party members, or the president is doing something in a way to truncate our constitution, those are very serious issues and allegations, which in itself can create and explain the situation, what we refer to as fear and panic. But in any case, how can you just simply say that because I disagree with you, because you have not passed LGBTQ, therefore you are an advocate of LGBTQ? It happened in our administration. There's one gentleman, I'm trying to get the name, by Kofi Dynamic. He used the name Kojo Dynamic at Anani Perry. He made a caption on his Facebook wall: "Know the LGBTQ advocates." Hence, he had the LGBT flag at the background and had picture of President Kufuor, Vice President Baumia, Afenyo Markin, and Amin Anta. But the NPP government never took him on because the Kufuor government was tolerant. Because we understand it's part and parcel of the democracy that as a country we have signed to practice. And as a government, if you are committed to serious business, you don't waste your time on trivialities. So that is something in the context that we need to understand. Other than that, then we are going to the era of culture of silence. Then we are going to the era whereby we had a criminal libel law. Then what was the reason for us to repeal the criminal libel law? So the government should focus on matters that has serious security implications on the country, on matters that indeed can cause real fear and panic. I'm happy you have projected it on your screen.
You like this?
I don't see any problem with it.
Why?
Why should I have a problem? Because at the end of the day, as a government, we said we're going to pass LGBTQ bill. And the NDC government relied on it and made a pronouncement on it because we were unable to do it. That is his expression. That is his opinion. We must be able to tolerate criticism.
But do you recognize that there are Ghanaians who are not happy with this?
With what?
There are some Ghanaians who are not happy with what this gentleman has done. Who may potentially be voting for the NPP,
you can speak against
but
it.
may have a rethink.
No, Moro. I have no qualms with anyone speaking against it. You understand? But as a government that has serious issues and businesses to address, you will waste your time on this. That is what I want us to understand. And so in the same vein, if someone feels that as a president, you have been unable to pass the LGBTQ Act and caricature you in the form that he feels that is explaining his position about you, you may condemn it. But I don't think it's something that we should waste our time and state resources to move someone from Bono put the life of the person and the officers into serious risk. What would have been the position if they have had accident? What would have been the explanation? Because the person posted something against the president on the Facebook wall. Is that what our democracy has been reduced to? So that is the point I'm making. When people make serious issues, I will be the first person to come and sit on your studio and condemn it. And it has to be issues that affect the fabric of our democracy, that affects our institutions in the country. But not when we've done something and people are criticizing you and it cannot be tolerant. Then you must commend the Kufuor's government. You must commend Dr. Bawumia for being tolerant, for being able to understand that it's part of the excesses of our democracy that we as a country have signed on to.
Do you recognize that there were some of your party supporters who were pained because some of these things happened and the system at the time did nothing about it?
Well, for now, I agree with them. Because looking at what the NDC is doing, then perhaps we should have taken those drastic actions against them. So they have every right to be peeved, they have every right to be angry. And that is why I made the point that power is transient. So what the NDC are doing, we are not telling them to have sympathy on us. But when the tables turn, we don't expect them to come and complain.
You intend to do the same?
Why? Am I Jesus
But
Christ?
you would promise to do better, not
No, but at the end of the day, I advise them to stop. I don't believe in politics whereby people do something wrong. And when it gets to your turn, they are asked, oh, be holy. If you want to be holy, let's start from them. If they know what they are doing is wrong, they shouldn't continue.
Why
with
then
that.
should there be a change if you intend to do the same thing?
No, but advise them. They are in government. They have the opportunity. We are not in government. They should set the example for the rest to follow so that tomorrow, when MPP decides to go back and do something which is contrary to the standard they have set, then all of you can come in.
But there's somebody who perhaps is thinking about voting for the MPP, but now you're telling the person that when we come, we'll repeat saying, what should be the motivation for the person
What I can
to vote
assure
for your
them
party?
that we will do better in terms of the economic management of the country.
They want to do better in this,
Right.
in this
What
regard
I
as well.
can tell them is that people should advise the NDC because they are in government. Right? Let us not pretend. If what they are doing is wrong, let's condemn them. So that at least it becomes a standard for us as a country. But you cannot just sit on the fence, pretend not to see, not to hear any evil, and allow them to continue to perpetrate this unconscionable act. Then when it gets to MPP, the MPP, oh, let's go back to the books and let the rule of law apply.
I want us to deal with this penultimate issue. You set up an office called the Office of the Special Prosecutor in 2028, pursuant to Article 88. So that's where you drew your legal inspiration from. The Office of the Special Prosecutor has been around so if it's from 2018 when it started officially. We're now in 2026. That's what, close to what? That's about almost 8 years. But there's been a High Court ruling. In fact, you set up that office because it was part of your campaign promise. At the time, the conversation was that it was difficult for party members to prosecute their own. And so we needed an ombudsman. We needed an independent prosecuting czar, basically, to deal with corruption and corruption-related issues. So the office has been around for a while now. You had when you were in power, you had your own concerns about how the office was operating. There's some of your party people who would speak to us and say, well, did we go or did we come? Because it appears that the special office or the special prosecutor is not doing a good job. The NDC is now in power, and there are all kinds of suspicions as well. Yesterday, a High Court delivered a judgment. Now, it depends on where you stand. People are giving it all kinds of interpretations. Now, if you look at today's Daily Guide, it says that a High Court has directed the Office of the Attorney General to take over all prosecutions initiated by the Office of the Special Prosecutor without prior authorization by the AG. This follows the court's ruling that the OSP does not have independent prosecutorial power to initiate and prosecute corruption and related offenses without prior authorization from the Attorney General. Now, the High Court gave the order in spite of a writ pending before the Supreme Court challenging the act establishing the OSP. The plaintiff is called Noah Ephraim Tete Adamte. He's seeking, among others, a declaration that on a true and proper interpretation of the Articles 1288, 932 and 296 of the 1992 Constitution, prosecutorial authority in Ghana is vested exclusively in the Attorney General and cannot be exercised independently of or in parallel with the Attorney General. I'll pick your thoughts on that as well, but we need to take a breather. Please bear with us. Right. We take this break. He'll spend the next 10 minutes with us, and then our guest will be joining us. Just in case you just joined us, I have the General Secretary. In fact, he runs the New Patriotic Party. He's the Chief Executive Officer. He's the Chief Scribe of the New Patriotic Party. He's been with us in the last 30 minutes, and we're grateful for his time. He's a very busy man, but he's made time to join us. I know he likes the media. The media likes him too, so stay with us.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
Grab your bottle and unleash the taste of Storm Energy Drink. A bold flavor, a big attitude, feel the vibe, own the moment. It's your time to be different. Storm Energy Drink, make your mark. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health, not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson.
Me didn't tum Mr. Friend Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Friend, me once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the accent. Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Friend is sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso.
Come tum preko.
changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma, Puma. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Puma, Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the Puma. Oh yeah, come alive. Puma, Puma. Let me hear you. Puma.
Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, Banty, why you there? One line, tell her today go give me my money.
Oh, my guy, what's up? Oba unze me di na dede baby. Scano ASA 500 cedis per. Ah.
I see. Level don't change. But to show me the way.
But there's some sorry, Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres Ghana dinero?
Huh?
Cash, cash.
Yes, cash.
Hwehwɛ kwan pa edubekɔ nkunimdie mu. Call on.us na me sign up. Ema ore mfi sɛ udi wo telephone number so ebeka ho uwie a. Afei, be games no emu. Hwehwɛ one shot game. Fasika kume bi to ho. Afei, numbers are free 0 to 99. Yedie wakuma pe. Na obenya sikakyɛde free 50 Ghana cedis. Kopim 500 Ghana cedis.
Hey, so it be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
It's Bemi. Boom!
You be too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I have here with me the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Kodua. You know, interestingly, some people call you Justin Kodua Frimpong, and some say Justin Kodua. Why? Which is which?
You know, the Justin Kodua. That is for when I was contesting for the General Secretary position.
Okay.
The team wanted to come out with some catchy initials.
So that's why there's GFK.
That's why we have the GFK. Okay. But the actual name, Justin Kodua from Paul.
Okay. Yeah. So OSP, matters arising.
Moro, you know, I don't see any issue with the OSP matter. For me, there's no issue.
Okay.
And I'm surprised that the NDC wants to find a way to collapse that office. And one will want to find out the rationale behind what the Attorney General and by extension, majority in Parliament are seeking to do. If you read the OSP Act, you know every act starts with a preamble. And bear with me, let me take you through what the preamble says.
Right.
Okay. It reads, Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017. An act to establish the Office of the Special Prosecutor as a specialized agency to investigate specific cases of alleged or suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses involving public officers and politically exposed persons in the performance of their functions, as well as persons in the private sector involved in the commission of alleged or suspected corruptions and corruption-related offenses. Prosecute these offenses on the authority of the Attorney General. Right. So, the preamble of the Act even establishes the fact that before the office can prosecute a matter, it has to be done so under the authority of the Attorney General.
Right.
I'll take you to Section 4 of the same Act. Section 4.
Is it where he talks about subject to clause 4 of Article 88 of the Constitution? The office shall for the purposes of this Act be authorized by the Attorney General to initiate and conduct the prosecution of corruption-related offenses. I think that's what you're looking for.
Yes, and let's make reference to what the Constitution says under Article 884.
Right.
It reads, all offenses prosecuted in the name of the Republic of Ghana shall be at the suit of the Attorney General or any person authorized by him in accordance with any law. So, what is the issue? And why do we have to waste state resources to go to Supreme Court to seek interpretation of a provision which is clear and has been captured even in the Act? One may ask, why didn't we take steps during our tenure of office? Why didn't Attorney General Dami took steps to address that gap, perceived gap or lacuna, which I don't see? One, it could be that the Attorney General then saw no issues with it because he was the one who introduced the bill in Parliament. You understand?
Right.
So therefore, explicitly you understand that the OSP is deriving his power from the Attorney General. So therefore, if I am the one who has presented the bill from Cabinet to Parliament, then why do I have to state it again? That I'm giving you that express power. I'm giving you that delegated power to act in my stead. No, you understand that?
I get it.
Yes. So if, for emphasis of argument, and the current government had the willpower to deal with issues of corruption, and an office has been established, an independent office has been established to support you in fighting corruption, your attitude and posture will mean that even where there are gray areas, you fill in the gaps.
Right.
And how do you fill in the gaps? There's what we refer to as executive instruments. The essence of executive instrument is whereby a state institution or a body has been given powers and decide that, yes, I have this power, but I've decided to delegate part of this power to this body to act on my stead. So indeed, what prevents the Attorney General, Honorable Dominic Ayi, to go to Parliament with an executive instrument that will confer that prosecutorial power to the office of the special prosecutor? No, so it doesn't make any sense, it doesn't make any logic. The behavior of the Attorney General and his deputy going to the Supreme Court to seek interpretation. Interpretation on what? Because it has already been captured in the preamble, Section 4, and also stated in the Constitution, and it can use executive instrument. But the truth of the matter is, per the NDC's conduct by its majority leader, Ayariga, Honorable Ayariga, and his deputy chief whip, and Honorable Susu, whereby OSP invited Martin Pebu. Since that period, the posture and attitude of NDC has been sharply against the office of the special prosecutor. And if you remember, certain comment that Honorable Susu made, that if we touch one, we touch all. So there is that presumption that all these things that the NDC is doing is to make sure that they collapse the office of the special prosecutor. One, because if it is the Attorney General alone, he decides to choose which cases he wants to investigate, which corrupt-related cases he wants to investigate. He decides to determine which offices issues is of significance, of importance to him. And as we stated, the rationale behind the creation of the office of the special prosecutor is that we understand that whereby a government appoints an Attorney General and a member of its government acts in a manner which raises issues of corruption, there's likely tendency of issues of conflict of interest. So therefore, let's have an independent body that can deal with the matter fairly. That was the rationale behind it. So now what is happening is that because there are so many scandals coming up in this government, and knowing very well that if Kisei Jabe and that office of special prosecutor continue to be in existence, it means that they can so much take NDC appointees and extension its members on. So therefore, let's collapse that office so that we have that latitude and that leverage to decide what we want to do. That is the essence of the reason why the matter is in court. And I dare the NDC to challenge this. Because in any case, if indeed you are interested in fighting corruption, why are you fighting an institution that is fighting corruption? So pose it to them. Pose that question to Honorable Attorney General. The Honorable Attorney General, if indeed you claim there's a lacuna, if indeed you claim that there's a gap, fill it with an executive instrument. Okay. And I'm also equally surprised by the pronouncement by the judge yesterday. You know, there is a criminal matter in the High Court criminal jurisdiction, which has to do with an investigation or a case by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. In fact, the accused person raised the issue, challenging the jurisdiction of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. But the trial judge dismissed that application and said that there's already a matter pending before the Supreme Court. So let's stand down. Let's wait for the Supreme Court to come out with that pronouncement, and all will fall in. And surprisingly, the accused person jumped from the criminal jurisdiction court and goes to a general jurisdiction court and to a particular judge, which is issued, and we may talk about it in a later date. And that judge made that pronouncement. And I was very surprised. In my 10 years at the bar, I would have expected that as a judge, when you know that a matter is before an apex body, it is prudent that you wait for that apex body to make that pronouncement before you jump in. That is why always we say that let's stand down, listen to what the highest court will say. So what was the rush? Okay. What was the need to make that pronouncement? So, Moro, the conclusion is very simple. The NDC knows that with the auditor's report coming up, no wonder they've changed the Auditor General. Issues of scandal, issues of corruption are going to be exposed. Okay. And therefore, they don't want a body that will take them on. That is why there's a deliberate, frantic, and desperate attempt to collapse the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Moro, tell my General Secretary, I admire his leadership skills. He should remain resolute and keep leading. It says for OSP, I don't know whether I got that correctly. That's one coming from one of your biggest fans and admirers, Aaron Aseduentry. Yes, he says he believes in you so very much. Now, Jesse Boako says that excellent delivery by lawyer Justin Kodua from Pong. His message this morning is well outlined and straight to the NDC government. MPP members are being treated like non-citizens in their own country, while CSOs, the media, and some section of the public have their mouth zip, reason best known to themselves. Political power is transient. Even if the future MPP government and leadership decided not to retaliate, what the NDC is doing to them, the supporters will be disappointed and vote them out again. Now, which then happens to Article 35 of the 1992 Constitution, which talks about political objectives. The MPP will be back in 2028. Best wishes to lawyer Okumkom Kodua, a Jisibuako political marketing expert. And then I'll end with this. I've got lots of messages, but I can't. So the MP for Ifijakwabre North, Collins, he says that greetings to my General Secretary. He says he's a fantastic guy. Yes, Collins Aduma Comensa. Collins, good to know you're tuned in. Thank you very much for that. Now, Master Planner Junior sent me a message. Let me tell you, that's what I want to end. And and then you can... Master Planner Junior, yes. He says, Master Planner Junior says that JFK, in fact, you're doing a fantastic job. We must maintain you as General Secretary going into the 2028 general elections, inshallah. This is one of the surest bets for MPP's victory. The NDC is using state security to show its main opponent where the power lies. Aside the media houses talking about it, everyone is quiet. CSOs, Christian Council, Islamic community, Catholic bishops, etc. When table said we should all remain silent. Master Planner Junior Policy Analyst from Kintampo. Speaking of which, Are you contesting again as General Secretary?
Oh, definitely.
Why? You failed your party in 2024. Why should you be maintained?
I didn't fail. At the end of the day, it's something that happened to the party.
Okay.
And I always pose the question, so if GFK was not the General Secretary and Muro was the General Secretary, can the person had prevented us from losing the elections? How the results came, the challenges that we're facing as a country, issues that were raised. If it was not General Secretary, if I was not the General Secretary, would another person had averted us from losing the elections? So definitely, I've started something that the party people are appreciative, and I'm not surprised of the comments coming to you to your phone, and they know that I'm playing a key role in the party's reorganization, and certainly they need me to be there for us to win the elections in 2028. And inshallah, I can assure you that we are on course.
All right. Justin Kodua from Pong, a.k.a. GFK, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Moro. It's good to be here, and I'm looking forward to coming here.
Subsequent interactions.
Yes,
certainly. You know, I took my time yesterday to read up on your profile, and I said, well, you're not telling your story enough. There's so much about you that the Ghanaian public doesn't know. Maybe you should do a one-on-one where you're talking about both your corporate and political career. Yes, there's a lot about him that a lot of people don't know, eh?
Yes, I think so. Maybe one of these interviews
we should
have
do
a discussion.
Yeah, we have to. One of the holidays.
Yes, I prefer
just like I did with the minority there the last time. We should do something similar. Yes, I think so. There's a lot about you people don't know. You need to tell your story fully. Anyway, so that's it. JFK, thank you very much for your time. It's been wonderful having you. So that's the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, JFK, as it's affectionately called. My other guests are here. They'll be joining us to review the papers today. Please join us.
The attempt to scrap the office of the Special Prosecutor last year is not dead. And this is the charge I'm giving to civil society. It is not dead. It is live. But we should not depend on the goodness of the president to say, withdraw it from parliament. Rather, we should build this institution for the ages, an institution which stands the test of time. I was approached in respect of how to reform, and a lot of the talk I heard was revolving around me. And I told these well-meaning people that do not make proposals because of my nature. Some may see me as good, some may see me as evil. But do not turn legal provisions around my traits and characteristics. And the same way I'm saying, do not let this office's existence depend on the fact that the president wants it to operate, as we saw in December 2025. Secure it, bound it up, board it up well. And now we have a glorious opportunity with the constitution review process. Let it be stamped in it. And we are gratified that the committee, the Constitution Review Committee, put such a proposal in it. Let it be well-founded in it. Let it be well-clad, so that the next special prosecutor will not spend so much of his time fighting for survival of the office, fighting for survival of his position. It has been most unfair. It has not been for the best. You recall what happened in 2025. Incidentally, it was our best year of performance. At the same time, it was our worst year of existential troubles. Why should Kisi and a few officers of the Office of the Special Prosecutor be the ones always fighting existential battles just to keep this office running? Had it not been the good-naturedness of the president, the office would have been scrapped by the end of December 2025 in Parliament. Ask yourself, why? It is because politicians don't want us around. It is that simple. And why do they not want us around? Because we are bad news for politicians. And that is why civil society should keep it up.
You're still here with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. And just a while ago, I was talking to the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Kodua, a JFK, as he's affectionately called. But two guests are here. They would be with me in the next let's say 45 minutes or so. And it's understandably so. You know, Thursdays we do the school homecoming with the man Kwesi Kwetia, who will be hosting some old students here in the studio to talk about or to relive the past and to reminisce about the good old days. That's part of the our efforts to give a platform to persons who would want to tell us the story about what they've given back to their schools. And that's what we call the school homecoming event on Metro Television or the entire media, Ignite Media Group. So joining us this morning is Awala Mohammed. He's a communication team member of the New Patriotic Party. Awala, good morning and assalamu alaikum. Good to have you join us. It's always a pleasure to see you, bro. Yes. Long time. Yes. Also, Dr. Samiaya is a presidential aide. He's also with us here. Doc, good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you too.
Yes, that's my very vociferous and tough talking Dr. Sami Aye, one of the prolific communicators of the NDC. So I'm not surprised that he's loved by the rank and file of the party so very much. Anyway, so it's always a pleasure to have you join us. I want us to, gentlemen, look at this. So yesterday there was a big event, and the big event has to do with the launch of a very, very important social intervention. The president himself, but of course, prior to that, the health minister had held a press conference under the Government Accountability Series where he gave us a hint that yesterday's event was going to happen. And indeed, it has happened. So, Bright, if we have a video, I think there's a video that we played earlier today. We can play that video for a minute where the president is talking about the importance of the free what's the name? Free primary health care.
Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama Mohe. Wake na boe. Ghana wabwajo wahe saminya. Obake ni makake fe wahemo kenima enyo. Mwano ohane wabwajo wahe saminya. Modene ongebonge hiochami ke hewaminami hiyo. Ghana beura ayeko.
Every country is working to achieve universal health coverage. And universal health coverage is the situation where every citizen has access to quality, affordable care. In Ghana, we introduced the National Health Insurance Scheme, and it expanded coverage and affordability in a major way. But since we introduced the National Health Insurance Scheme, we still have a lot of pockets of underserved areas, especially in the rural areas. And so, for countries that want to extend the reach so that they can achieve universal health coverage, they include in it the primary health care aspect of it. With the health scheme, normally for most of the health facilities under the health scheme, you see the patients only when they are sick. And so it's mostly curative. One key aspect of the free primary health care is preventive, to identify the illness and get early treatment before it develops into something else. And so a major part of the free primary health care is the health screening aspect. And we are encouraging that when we roll out the free primary health care, our traditional leaders and our religious leaders will help us to mobilize their communities. At least every Ghanaian must be screened once a year. We also have the health kiosks. So in areas where we don't have CHIPS compounds, we'll come and put the health kiosk. We are starting with 150 districts. And we'll be very careful in selecting the 150 districts. These are districts that are underserved when it comes to healthcare. But the rest of the districts will join next year. And so we'll finish the complete rollout in all the districts by 2028.
Free primary healthcare program, and yesterday the president launched it officially. And that in itself has elevated national discussions about healthcare needs to the front burner, with focus on infrastructure, healthcare personnel, and access. And all of this, these are the three key ingredients that would make it work. Joining us again this morning, Dr. Samaye is with us here. He's a presidential aide, and then also Awal Mohammed is a member of the MPP's communications team. I'll start with Dr. Samaye. Dr. Samaye, you know, what is really exciting about this? Now, let me before you even go ahead. I think that it is important that I read. Remember, it's a newspaper, and it's a newspaper review. So it's on page 13 of today's daily graphic, where the president is charging all of us. Now, Diana Mensah says the President John Dramani Mahama has called on Ghanaians to adopt healthy eating habits and lifestyle, saying they contribute significantly to the country's non-communicable diseases. That's NCD's burden. Now, launching the free primary healthcare program yesterday, President Mahama linked those health conditions to unhealthy eating habits and sedentary lifestyles, advising the populace against physical inactivity and late-night heavy meals. Our fathers ate these foods but remained active on the farms. Today, many of us sit all day, drive everywhere, and still expect to eat heavily without consequences. The free primary healthcare program, which will expand access to healthcare service across the country, focuses on early detection and also preventative treatment, particularly in underserved and rural communities. Under the new policy, basic health services, including screening for hypertension, diabetes, and other conditions, will be provided free of charge at community-based health planning and services, which is CHIPS compounds, health centers, polyclinics, and the newly introduced health kiosk. And patients requiring advanced care will be referred to higher level facilities where National Health Insurance Scheme coverage will apply. Tell us a bit more about this initiative.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning to your viewers. Good morning to yourself and my friend Awal. Let me use this platform to congratulate and commend His Excellency the President for demonstrating true fidelity to the people of Ghana, for maintaining his enviable title as a true promise keeper on the back of implementation of this free primary health care, which in my view is one of the boldest, one of the most revolutionary health policies to expand access to healthcare and to gradually inch Ghana towards the realization of universal health. That is what it is, and we must be able to commend His Excellency the President for that. Indeed, it adds to the list of interventions the President has put in place in attaining, health sovereignty, just like he's made mention of severally as part of his Accra Reset project. Now, you see, what is primary healthcare? Primary healthcare is basically the most basic, the most fundamental healthcare one can get at the first contact with a health facility. Indeed, in 1978, during the Alma-Ata Declaration in Kazakhstan, primary healthcare was actually defined or accepted as a basic human rights need. So countries the world over have defined what primary healthcare means to them. So for Ghana, there are about 8 pillars of primary healthcare. We have health education purposes, we have proper nutrition, we have safe water and basic sanitation, we have maternal and child health, which you know, maternal and child health. Yeah. We have immunization against major infectious diseases. We have prevention and control of endemic diseases. We have treatment of common diseases. We have provision of essential drugs. These are the 8 pillars of primary health care in Ghana. It has been implemented in several phases. Now, so for what we do in Ghana, it has been divided into preventive services, promotive services, curative services, maternal and child, like I mentioned. There are several of them. Now, when you look at the services rendered under our primary health care, there is basically no preventive scope for the adult population. Mind you, we were told that in the last few years, non-communicable diseases contribute to 45% of mortality. For example, if you take 10 people, almost 5 of them die from non-communicable diseases, which include diabetes, hypertension, stroke, cancers, and what have you. Now, for a leader who is responsive and sensitive to these emerging trends of morbidities among the Ghanaian population, we must put in place measures to curtail them.
Right.
And so President Mahama made mention of this even from opposition. So when you look at some of the services that will be rendered, we are looking at breast cancer screening. So President Mahama made mention that it is now largely going to be preventive, because the services under National Health Insurance Scheme, the Ghana Medical Trust Fund or Mahama Care, they are all curative. What it means is that the person is already sick. Whatever will happen to the person, by then has already happened to the person. You are just there to cure it or to manage it. But that is not the way we want to go. So when you look at breast cancer screening alone, we are told that the incidence of breast cancer in Ghana is about 30,000 people annually. And these are not just numbers. These are precious lives of people. The incidence is about 30,000 annually, about 2,500 to 3,000 deaths annually. So when you have a situation where we have decided to add that as part of our free primary healthcare program, that anybody at all, anyone at all can just walk into any health post, any CHEP compounds, any health center, any public health unit of any polyclinic. And you know how cancer spreads. It spreads with time. And so the earlier you catch it, the better your chances of saving the life of a Ghanaian woman.
Right.
And His Excellency the President has responded to this call. Now, when you look at blood glucose checking, which is part of the tools our community health workers will be given, just like His Excellency the President demonstrated yesterday. Diabetes contributes about 6 to 9% of the adult population. What it means is that when you pick about 12 adults in Ghana, 1 or 2 will have diabetes. And you know that these are precursors of these non-communicable diseases we have always made mention of. There is no provision in Ghana where under our primary health care, you can just walk into a health facility and get screened without paying anything. When you get a glucose strip to be checked, when you go to a facility to get your sugar or your glucose to be checked, you pay.
Right.
You pay. It is not free. You understand? These are all part of what comes together to have our health-seeking behavior as a people. And so President Mahama has responded to it. Instead of us waiting for people with diabetes who are largely unknown, the numbers that I mentioned, these are people who actually went to the hospital and got it checked and paid. What about those who do not have the necessary finances to check? There are many of them at several stages of development of their illnesses. So President Mahama doesn't want to wait for these people to enter into diabetic retinopathy, where they will have eye complications, will have renal diseases, enter into other complications of diabetes. So right from the get-go, we are screening people for this so that we can quickly take care of them. President Mahama made mention of blood pressure checks. When you look at the Ghanaian population, about 25 to 30% of the adult population have hypertension. What it means is that when you pick 3 adults, 1 out of 3 has hypertension. We all know the complications of hypertension. Eye complications, heart complications leading to heart failures, cardiac arrest, renal diseases where you may have to be on dialysis and whatever. But all these things are preventable. So when you have a primary healthcare policy where there is constant screening, people can just, a market woman can just walk into a health post in a marketplace to get checked, blood pressure to get checked, for glucose to get checked, for breast cancer screening and what have you. it goes in the interest of making sure that a larger section of the population do not extend to where their illnesses will be terminal or permanent, where a lot of money is involved or will be involved to make sure that they get better.
Right.
Now, one of the things we are also doing is BMI, body mass index,
right,
which is more like a relationship between your weight and your height, whether your weight is not too much for a height. There are ranges for it. And it is divided into whether you are underweight, whether you are overweight, whether you are obese, and what have you. All these are risk factors for the non-communicable diseases we are talking about. So if your BMI is so high, above 30, and you are classified as obese, you have a greater risk of getting any of these metabolic illnesses we are talking about, the diabetes, the hypertension, the stroke, the heart attacks, heart failures, and what have you. And so President Mama does not think that we should have a situation where our health system only looks at curative aspects of our illnesses, but we must be preventive and promotional, where these community health workers will be seen in our community. You mentioned 150 districts where it will be rolled out in the form of, there will be at CHIP compounds, health centers, and whatever. I've heard a lot of arguments. The MPP want to compare the National Health Insurance Scheme and the primary health care. Let me clarify this. First of all, most of the services under our National Health Insurance Scheme are donor funded. So the moment the donor funds are cut off, we raise our hands in despair, just like US aid was cut off recently. It has brought significant revenue shortfalls where government has to, complement in terms of finances. So when you look at the services under this primary health care, none of them is covered by a National Health Insurance Scheme. The immunization we do for children, the reproductive health and what have you, they are all donor funded. You understand? But you cannot just walk into a health facility that you want to screen and you will not pay. You will pay. It is not covered under National Health Insurance Scheme. But President Mama says that 80% of our health needs are at the level of primary care. So for him, he will make this primary health care free for the people of Ghana. We must be able to commend His Excellency the President. When you look at the National Health Insurance Scheme, the payment or billing or the coding is under what you call diagnostic related grouping. You must get a diagnosis before it is billed. Tell me, a screening part of the diagnosis under health insurance scheme, when they were doing the calculate or the formula for National Health Insurance Scheme, did they ask screening? No. It is not part of it. And again, National Health Insurance Scheme covers 66% of Ghanaians. Before the NDC government came, it was 57%. In only a space of a year, over 650,000 have rolled onto National Health Insurance Scheme, making it about 66%. You understand the point? So there's a gap of about 34% of Ghanaians who will have to pay from their pockets. You understand the point I'm making? So whilst it covers 66% of Ghanaians, free primary healthcare covers everyone in Ghana. You just have to show that you were Ghanaian through a driver's license, through maybe National Health Insurance Scheme, through Ghana card, through any identification. You can even have your ID card as a staff of Metro TV and get checked. You can even have any identification card as a Ghanaian and get access to this primary health care. You understand the point I'm making? Whilst National Health Insurance Scheme is creative, like I made mention of, the primary health care is preventive and promotional or promotive. It is surprising that the very people who capped National Health Insurance Scheme, who made sure that funds that were supposed to be allocated to National Health Insurance Scheme were realigned to non-National Health Insurance Scheme matters. Now they are the very people trying to hail National Health Insurance Scheme. When in the 8 years of their regime, they made sure that National Health Insurance Scheme has been deprived of needed resources to a point where there were several times in our country where health facilities threatened that they are going to close down because government owes them a lot. Yesterday, I heard them on social media talking plenty. You understand? So, the arguments are not coherent. There should be no justification for any reason why the opposition who is supposed to be a credible opposition to hold the feet of government to the fire of accountability, cannot be the ones against a policy that has been couched to save the lives of the people of Ghana. So I commend President Mama for this policy. We are happy about it. The whole idea is to make sure that we remove financial barriers to people getting access to basic health care. We are also promoting early diagnosis. Early diagnosis, so that we do not get to a situation where people have to be put on dialysis, people have to be doing, heart transplants, kidney transplants, organ transplant, people have to be grappling with stroke and its financial implications that come with it. We are also making sure that we reduce the inequalities of access to basic health care. For example, for people who do not have maybe private insurances, people who are not even enrolled onto the National Health Insurance Scheme. So the moment you're a Ghanaian, you get access to it. So these are the very important things that we need the people of Ghana to understand. President Mama has committed 1.2 billion Ghana cedis to this project. Never mind that he has also committed over 2.4 billion to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. So end to end, from primary to National Health Insurance Scheme to Ghana Medical Trust Fund. Through every chain or level or step of our healthcare needs, President Mama is making sure that we are well catered of, because he believes that indeed health is wealth, and that the health of the people of Ghana are essential to the economic transformation of this country. So
let me ask you,
we are happy about it.
All right. So Doc, I mean, you are a medical doctor, and you know what goes into some of these things. So you're not just speaking as a presidential aide, but you're speaking as a health professional, basically. So the way I see it, for this to succeed, three things must be available. One is the human beings. So you're talking about health professionals and health care practitioners. You also need resources, which is the funding. And then you also need, how do you call it? You also need logistics. So I look at logistics with infrastructure, you need the resources, and then you need the human beings. Now, your critics, of course, including the NPP, have raised the issue about the fact that, look, you want to roll out such a fantastic social intervention policy, which is the free primary health care. Yes, the human beings are there. Some of them you have trained, you haven't just posted them, so they are waiting to be posted. The resources, quite clearly, it's a GOG funded thing. This is not something we're waiting for somebody to come and fund it. So the resources are there, we've been assured. Then infrastructure. We do know that there's infrastructure deficit. In fact, part of the reasons why the NPP decided to roll out the Agenda 111 is because of the recognition that there's an infrastructure deficit. Now, some have said that if you can spend so much money into this free primary health care, why aren't you investing as much in making sure that the infrastructure side of things, which is where the human beings are going to work from, why don't you do same by completing the Agenda 111 in order to complement government efforts at rolling out this? I know there are plans to, put up what we call the health posts, the small kiosks here and there where people can come and be checked and so on. But if there are proper hospitals, just like with the case of Chips Compound, that certainly would help to make this initiative much more successful, wouldn't it?
First of all, there is no evidence to suggest that government is not investing heavily in Agenda 111.
Okay. What's the status of that?
Currently ongoing. The health minister has made several invested several amounts of monies have also been injected. Last year we had a budget. Budgetary allocations were made for that in order to aid the completion of Agenda 111 or to continue the completion of Agenda 111. It is a priority for government. That said, it is also important that we note that even at the level of disbursement of District Assembly Common Fund, you know that the NDC government has done extremely better. Last week I was in Bono region. Last week I was in Bono region. I was told, Moro, that in 2024, the total amount of disbursements of District Assembly Common Fund in Bono region was 11 million.
Okay.
All the district assemblies in Bono region was 11 million in 2024. But at the end of 2025, the John Dramani Mahama government had disbursed 122 million.
Okay.
From 11 million to 122 million. And when those disbursements were done, it was targeted. They were told exactly how those monies are supposed to be used. So when you go there are a lot of cheap compounds and health centers that have been built. It has been built on the back of this program that we are intending to implement.
Oh, okay.
Because we are told that this program will largely be anchored on check compounds, on health centers, on health posts, and even infirmaries or some schools. And so it is part of the government initiative to make sure that this program runs whilst we develop the infrastructure part of it. You understand the point I'm making? Okay. So it has been carefully done in order to make sure that the policy succeeds. Okay. That is not to say that enough attention or funds is not being put into the completion of Agenda 111. The point is that you made a point that the MPP realized that there was an infrastructure deficit. That is why they did Agenda 111. First of all, but for COVID, they wouldn't have done it. When they realized that they have not done enough investment in our health sector at the end of the 4 years of their regime, people began to criticize them because we saw makeshift arrangement they were doing during COVID-19 to make sure that some hospitals were quickly put in place in order to roll out all the plans that the government needed to do. That is why in the space of all the years that they started Agenda 111, they invested over $400 million into it. They didn't complete even one.
Okay.
To get it operational, to have nurses and health workers inside. They didn't know it. You understand? So there was no commitment to it. But we are committed to making sure that we complete them at the pace government deems fit. You understand the point? So I know significant commitment investments have gone into it to ensure that a number of them will get completed.
Okay.
If it is about construction of infrastructure and health facilities, the NDC is a poster boy and star boy for that. You understand the point? So we have no difficulties doing that. Okay. That is the point. So we want to commend His Excellency, the President, for this program, this policy. We are happy about it. And we are waiting to see that the primary health needs of the people of Ghana are sorted out and catered for under this program. We commend the President, we commend the Minister, we commend National Health Insurance and Ghana Health Service for this beautiful program.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. I think he has spoken for like 25 minutes.
Are you the one in charge of
Yes,
time?
He has spoken for 25 minutes. If I get even 15 minutes uninterrupted, I'll be happy so that I'll be able to do justice to the topic. Yes. So before that, let me just start from where he ended. That indeed Agenda 111, you ask a very important question, that the infrastructure is very, very important. And you ask about the Agenda 111, and he says, well, there are commitments to it and so on. This is not true. Last year, they didn't commit a dime to the completion of Agenda 111. They only committed 100 million Ghana cedi for this year. And they said that will be able to only complete 10. That was what the Minister of Finance announced in Parliament. And as I speak today, there is no single one that a contractor is on with 100 million budgeted. So they have not really put any money in the Agenda 111 project, not a single project.
You can state this as a matter of fact.
Yes, I can state it. Yes, not even one. Not even one. They only budgeted 100 million for this year. And in the last 2 months, there is no single Agenda 111 hospital that is ongoing. That is a fact. Two is that it is not true that MPP did not really start Agenda 111 just because we hadn't done anything in the health sector, especially building of hospitals. That's the reason we started Agenda 111 in a rush. That is also not true. We have done hospital, have completed 29 hospitals in our 8 years tenure. And in the first 4 years, we had done close to 20 before Agenda 111 came. And I can mention all of them. If you go to Akontombra in the Western North region, there's one there, Bogose District Hospital, Elibo District Hospital. I have pictures that I can even give it to you for your producers to post them. Right. If you go to Ashanti region, if you go to Drobonso, where your TikTok minister wants to go and contest, we have completed a hospital that is operational as I speak. If you go to Swami, if you go to Sabronum, we have completed 7 in Ashanti region. Here in Accra, if you go to Sege, there is a polyclinic there that we have completed. You see, so we had done a lot of hospitals. There is no single government in the history of this country that has completed hospitals than a Akufo-Addo government. Yes, and that's a fact. In the 8 years of the NDC, they never completed a single hospital in Ashanti region. Not even one. In the entire 8 years, they started the Kumawu and Formina Hospital. We came to complete it. We even inherited it, but we came to complete it and it's operational. So it is not true that they have done that. So you see, the free primary health care, it is very important. It's an essential thing that if they do it, it will help the people of this country. But you see, in his remarks, he said that you can go to every cheap compound to access free medical care, the primary health care. That was the promise. And when you read the NDC manifesto, they promised that they would do it everywhere in this country. Today, they are doing it in 150 districts across the country.
Under phase 1.
And it will end in 2028, which is phase 1. President Mahama has up to 2028 to finish his work. And he's telling you that the phase 1 is ending in 2028. So that is what he's doing.
He didn't say that.
What did he say? You can write. I'm saying that yesterday in the announcement, the president said he's doing 150. So 110 districts across the country are not part of this free primary health care. And that is worrying because you promised that you do nationwide and you're doing phase 1 of 150 and you said the phase 1 will end in 2028. And you have up to 2028 to finish your work.
Where did you get this information from? That phase 1
from the lunch. From the lunch. Yes, from the lunch. He can confirm it. I can also
because that's interesting. Because the information I had, in fact, when the minister said what what do you call it, held a news conference. What I heard him say was that by the end of this year, they'll face that phase 1 will end by the end of this year. But the president said
even the phase 1, the infrastructure is not ready. You remember last year, Felix Kwachu Fosu announced that every district across the country has been given the fiat to construct 2 chip compounds in every district. Yes. Just 2 weeks ago, when he was asked what is the latest on the chip compounds, he only was able to point to only 2. Yes, at a news conference, just 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
They are not able to complete them. That is the reason the president had to do it in a hospital. Because if they had completed the new chip compounds, he should have started it in a chip compound to really show that indeed we were doing it in a chip compound. You promised to do it in a chip compound. You went to Shai Osudoko District Hospital to launch it there. You could have at least gone to one of the chip compounds that you promised last year, that you have given them funding to construct. Felix says they were ongoing. And you see, and again, you see, all the things that the free primary health care is really targeting to do, they are all being done. The only difference is that you need a card to get to the hospital to really access to health care in terms of maybe malaria or so. Because you see, the health insurance today, it is only about 28% of the beneficiaries who are paying premium. 70 years and above, 18 minus, below 18 years. And you and I who are in the public sector, we will all pay 5 cedis for the card. And that's how to access the health insurance. So all you needed was a card. Now the government is saying that I'm taking out the card. He said preventive. Community health workers, that is the work they do under Ghana Health Service. They go to the communities and do immunization and so on. My wife is a nurse. At a point in time when she gave birth, she was in a clinic where they ran 24 hours. So at a point in time, we wanted to really get a place where she'll be able to take care of the child whilst she'll just have the laxity of time to be on. So within our district, we don't have a hospital there, but there's a CHIP compound. That's the Asquaremampong, Aswasi constituency. So she was posted to Ghana Legion within the Aswasi, just a stone throw from the Menchia hospital. She will go to the hospital, she will go to the facility maybe once or twice in a week, but the rest of the things, they do immunization in the community, they do education and so on, until a point in time when Ghana Health Service came with the directive that they shouldn't deploy nurses to these places and so on. So you have community health nurses who are doing this already. Why can't you employ them? Employ the community health nurses because they are at home, so that they will go and do this. You see, it is only a fulfillment of a partial fulfillment of a promise they made. But we believe that this thing is something that you have already, that is already being done. And again, look at the funding. The funding of 1.2 billion, according to the health insurance boss, the 1.2 billion is coming from the health insurance fund. So you are taking something from an already existing insurance policy that covers every Ghanaian. What you could have done was that you say, okay, health insurance, extend it to all places where, just cover them, so that nobody needed any card to go and access this basic care and so on. So this primary health care is something that the NDC had already promised that they will come and do, but they have partially fulfilled that promise, and they are not really investing in infrastructure that they're supposed to invest in. If you have a district like Asokore-Mampo, let me use our place as an example. It's even a shame on Muntaka. He has been on the health committee from 2005 that he entered parliament. We do not even have a polyclinic. We started Agenda 111. It got to the roofing stage. Today, as I speak, the place is a mechanic shop for heavy-duty vehicles. Yes, they've broken the place. It's a mechanic shop.
Where is it located?
On the airport lands. When you're coming from Abuabu Post Office, yes, down there to the Sawaba Junction, just on the left, where the mechanics are. Before the mechanics, you go to the place, you see that the place is today a mechanic shop.
It was earmarked to be a polyclinic.
No, Agenda 111.
Oh, it was supposed to be an Agenda 111.
Yes.
It was earmarked for Agenda 111.
We have even completed the structures. It got to only roofing. Agenda 111 project in the Asawasi constituency.
And it's been collapsed.
Now,
and turned into...
Now, when you go there, it is a mechanic shop. Today, they have broken the wall and they have parked cars, the heavy-duty cars in there. Wow. So the government must major on the measures. Look at health. You ask him very important question, that the nurses who will work in these places. Today, the government is doing something that I believe that he is trying to recruit NDC 10 executives. Because it has never happened in the history of this country that they don't do automatic posting. They do competitive selection. That is what they are telling us this year. What we know is that almost every year they do automatic posting. Then they will look at the batch. They will open the portal for the batch. If you completed in 2022 and there is an opening for 2021, even if you enter your index number, you cannot be picked. He understands this. Now today, they said they have opened it. Those who completed in 2022 and those who completed in 2024 can still compete for the positions. So it means this is something that they promised to do automatic posting. The governor promised them, oh, when I come, you'll be posted as soon as you finish school. Now those at home are to compete with their juniors in the positions that they have advertised to even recruit within this period. They opened the portal just yesterday, and they are asking every nurse at home to do that. And now even the nurses are kicking against it. They're saying that, why will a senior who had been at home for 3 years, voted for you for that recruitment, you're telling the person to go and compete with these people? So Yes, it's a good thing, the free primary health care, but we believe that the best things to do are to recruit the nurses, recruit the community health workers, recruit those who will do the preventive, and invest in infrastructure. That's very important because the Akufo-Addo government invested heavily in infrastructure, health infrastructure, and there was no single day in the 8 years of the Akufo-Addo administration where health service providers turned away patients because the government was not able to pay health insurance claims. This is a matter of fact. Those days that we had that was in 2015, 2016 when President Mahama was in government, that you could tell, you could hear announcements that you cannot go to these hospitals. In Kumasi, they will tell you go to Tech Hospital, they will take the insurance and so on. In Accra, they will tell you to go to Kolebu and some few other hospitals because health insurance providers are saying that government hadn't paid claims. In the entire 8 years, you will only hear threats, but it never happened for even a day that they said they will not be able to really take care of them because they have not been able to, government has not been able to pay claims. So that is the really the
so
facts
I want us
about
to I want us to read a few messages before I give, because we actually just have 6 minutes. So I'll give you 3 minutes each for both of you. Let me look at these. Okay, so this one from Hardy from Pig Farm, he sent me this message. Now, Hardy from Pig Farm says, good morning, my brother. In fact, sometimes if you listen to the level of corruption and stealing that took place under the watch of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his vice president, one would just know Mother Ghana was a crime scene under the leadership of Nana Addo and his vice. They just came to create, loot and share. Saying Dr. Bawumia will be president of this great nation called Ghana is like deceiving yourself that is a castrated he-goat can still make a female goat pregnant. Good morning to Dr. Ibrahim Mahama. Now, Prince Kumoji, I've seen your message and they're well noted. Let me do this. This one says that Papa Bisiu from Accra, or from Spintex, says, hi, my brother, good gesture by the NDC government relative to the reduction of prices of fuel. It really shows this government is indeed a listening one, unlike the previous NPP government that refused to remove the e-levy, betting tax, and others, not making Ghanaians comfortable. Kudos to the NDC government. Papa Bisu from Spintex, Accra. Now, this one from Carlos from Ododo. Carlos, stay there, long time. It says that we commend the president for his efforts to fulfill his promise. Initiatives such as the Big Push, the 24-hour economy, the Women's Bank and others show progress towards these commitments. However, regarding the overall anti-corruption agenda, the expected results are not evident. Efforts appear to have slowed and arrests seem to have reduced, possibly due to strong opposition from the NPP. There is a growing perception that the government is hesitant to take firm action. Even where prosecutions are mentioned, the outcomes are not visible to the public, raising concerns about effectiveness. The president may need to engage security agencies more firmly and urge the Attorney General's office to act with greater urgency. If this pace continues, there is a risk that no significant prosecutions will be achieved while we commend progress in other areas. More decisive action is needed on anti-corruption. The oral. That's from Carlos in Ododo. Reverend Jose Latte says, please remind Justin Kodua of the prosecution of Atufo Singh and Jachi Kwesing by Dame. There's also, let me raise my objection vehemently against the politicization of health. Preventative medicine has no basis in politics. Dr. Ayer must refrain from partisan politics. And then this one from Edmond says that Mr. Kodua was talking a lot. Tell him to bring his former finance minister to come and account to the good people of Ghana. They should be bold enough to call him down and stop defending the indefensible. Eben from Kwabenya says, I'm listening to a listing government applause to a listing government for cushioning voters on petrol prices. I remember in May 2022, a certain president said it can't happen, but His Excellency JDM has shown he's a listening president. Aban Papa Abampa We're grateful to the NDC in Power. Greetings, Honorable Julius Debra, Chief of Staff, Honorable Peter Kwesi Amensa of Tema Shipyard, and Honorable MC Agbo Honorable MC Agbo. It is absolutely true that a free primary healthcare program is a recycled policy by the government to also claim a social intervention policy. The community health nurses are already doing this. This is from Rafat Hussein Igunu from Sabalugu. So, Doc, let me just give both of you 2 minutes each to try and wrap up on this because there's another program that's coming up. Yes, so in conclusion.
Thank you very much. First of all, the president never said anywhere that the first phase of the free primary healthcare will finish by the end of 2028. He said that it will be rolled everywhere in this country by the end of 2028. Indeed, the first phase is for only 2026. You understand the point? So, you didn't listen. Maybe you were just trying to lie. Number two, they say that, community health nurses are already doing this. Do you know what community health nurses do? Community health nurses go to marketplaces. You are suggesting that community health nurses go to marketplaces to check people's BP.
They do. They do health outreach. Yes, they do.
Community health nurses.
Yes, they do.
Wow, relax. There's a scope of work for community health nurses. They do education normally for children, immunization, vaccination, education. Listen.
Is it not part of the free primary care?
We have listed.
Is it not part of it?
Listen. We have listed the things we are doing under President Mahmoud's free primary health care. We have mentioned
the ones the community health nurses are doing is not part of it. I'm only asking you. Just be clear.
Community health nurses do not go about checking people's blood sugar.
What do they do?
They don't do that. It is not part of their scope of work. It is under this free primary health care policy that they are going to do that. They don't do that. Because wherever you go, before you get your sugar checked, you pay. It is not free. It is not free. And so it is a lie if you say that, community health nurses are already doing this. So President Mahama's free primary health care is not a novelty. When you know that they don't go about checking people's glucose, they don't go about checking people's BP, they don't go about doing breast cancer screening, they don't do that. It is not part of the scope of work that they do. You understand the point? So it is a lie. They don't go about educating people on non-communicable disease. No, it is under this free primary health care program called by President Mahama that we have decided to incorporate this as part of the program, where we are even going to build health posts, like the president said yesterday, in various marketplaces, in lorry parks, and other places where people can just conveniently get up from their workplace, enter there, and get screened. Screening is not part of what community health nurses do. It is not part of it. And so when a policy comes,
they do education.
Listen. You
see, you listed a lot of things, and I told you that there are some that have been covered.
I will do some to you. Relax. Is glucose testing covered under what community health nurses do? Is it covered?
That is covered by health insurance.
Listen, who tells you? Unless you are
already covered by health insurance.
I'm saying that. See, when a policy comes, you people must not demonstrate policy ignorance.
Which of the things they are doing that health insurance doesn't cover?
Listen to me.
Which of them?
Moro, when you go to a hospital, that you are urinating too much, you are always thirsty, and they do a test and you are diagnosed as being a diabetic. As part of the diagnosis, that's why you already have the diabetes. As part of the diagnosis, that's why I mentioned diagnostic related grouping. And so your diagnosis is that you are diabetic. You have type 1 or type 2 diabetes. For that matter, health insurance may cover. But you cannot walk into a community center, a check compound, a health center, and say that you want to be screened for diabetes and it will be free for you. It doesn't happen.
Let me give you this information.
You understand?
Let me share this information with you. There's a woman who's been in the nursing profession for decades, and she has just sent this message. I don't want to mention her name, and I think it's instructive. She says, community health nurses do not check blood pressure and sugar
They don't.
levels in the market.
They don't. So you have lied on this platform.
I have not.
When a policy comes, you must demonstrate policy humility and read the program so that you don't go and sit on platforms peddle falsehoods which you have no idea about. So community administrators do not parade themselves, do not go about checking people's BP and people's blood sugar and doing breast cancer screening. It is under President Mahama's free primary health care program, where because of how our morbidity and mortalities are going, President Mahama decided that we will incorporate screening programs for these non-communicable diseases under this program.
Okay.
And so it is a novelty. It is something that is new, that the government of President John Dramani Mahama, with the support of his Minister, National Health Insurance, Ghana Health Service, have been able to do to save the thousands of people who have been afflicted by these non-communicable diseases. You understand the point I'm making?
Right.
And so it is very, very instructive and very, very important that when issues like this pop up, and you see,
you talk about the hospitals that you said you have invested more in the hospitals.
First of all, you even like that Bogos Hospital has been completed. It has not been completed.
It has.
You know,
I have the picture.
You know, I have the picture of Bogos.
Yes, I have it. I have a picture. It was completed 2021.
That's a lie. Oh, that's a lie. In fact, President Kufado, he said, "Is he? Once I say your phone, he said that's in what I'm.
You've given him how many minutes, Moro?
In fact, shortcutting was actually done in 2021 or so. That was when the thing started. They started building. So it is a lie when you say it has not been completed. You understand? So what President Mahama has done is good. The MPP needs to sit back, do self-introspection, read about the program.
All right.
Read about the program. Get proper people to brief you guys on what President Mahama's free primary health care is. Don't go and say somewhere and be lying through your teeth. Come to sit on Good Morning Ghana. Lie about the policy you have not read.
Okay, there's a gentleman called Rashid. You know him? He's a special aide to the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kwete. You know him, Rashid?
I don't know him.
Okay, so this is what he's also sent to me. Now, Rashid says that kindly tell Awal that the place he's talking about, so you remember you said there was a place which was earmarked for Agenda 111, but it's been broken down and it's now a fitting shop.
Yes.
Okay, so he says kindly tell him the place was a mechanical shop, long truck parking space, as well as a yam selling area before Awal was even born. That's what you're saying.
That's a lie. It has never even been a yam selling area.
Oh, okay.
The yam selling area was in Asawasi, when the Asawasi market was being built. This was around 2015 that they were moved to that place. So he doesn't even know the place. This is where I was raised. This is where I live, and I passed there yesterday. So are you coming to me?
No, so let me give that to you.
Yes, I am.
So, but before you come on, I beg you, let me just do this. I beg you. Discover MNC Group Global. MNC Group Global. You know, they are your #1 partner in minerals and food commodity trading, real estate development, general logistics, and also procurement, management, consultancy, investment advisory, import and export. They have headquarters in East Legon, Accra, Ghana. They also have offices in Dubai. They are in Hong Kong. They are in Guangzhou in China. They are in Johannesburg in South Africa. They are in Virginia, USA. They are in Arizona, Italy, and Hanover, Germany. We connect markets that drive business growth with tailor-made solutions to meet your needs. Trust us to maximize your value in every deal. Reach us on MNC Group at mncgroupgh.com or call 0302 998 246. So 0302 998 246 or 026 550 5337 or 056 103 2252. MNC Group, totally reliant. Yes, Awa, please go ahead.
I mentioned two things that I said is being covered by the primary healthcare, which is being covered already and it's being done. On the community health, I said they do outreach to the extent that I brought even my wife as an example. I said they do immunization and outreach. These were the words I said about the community health workers. I never said that they do blood check. Did I say that? You said no, you are here. No. Did I say that they do blood check?
He said no. He said all.
I said they do.
I wrote it. He said all the things under
health insurance. It's either been done. No. I said health insurance covers them.
No, I wrote it. He said all the things under.
Why would you misconstrue my words when they are not done? Set the record straight.
No,
I mentioned two things. I said one is that.
See, I wrote it.
Why?
I wrote it.
I wrote it. Moro, the resolution is that I mentioned that
you said committee
health insurance is already doing. Oh, why?
You said committee.
Did I say glucose?
Yes, you said it. You said it. You said it.
No. I said two things. I said all the things. I said all the things that they have captured under this primary health care. Health insurance is covering almost 95%. That is one. Two is that the preventive that he mentioned. Community health workers have been doing immunization and community outreach.
They are specific.
Didn't I mention this? I mentioned this. You have said your own question.
There are specific things
and again,
mentioned
again. It was September 2023.
Let's move on.
None of them is that.
Moro, it was in September 2023.
Okay.
That Vice President Baumia inaugurated the Akontrombra Hospital with 6 others. With 6 others, including Bogosu Elibo, in the Western North.
Right.
So it's a lie. NDC cannot boast of a single hospital.
I'm telling you that.
They have even constructed in the Western North. I didn't lie.
That all the things we claim we are doing under the free primary healthcare program
is being captured.
Done. And I'm saying that.
I said it's being captured. Tell me which ones that the health insurance doesn't cover.
Go to Range Hospital right now.
I'm saying that which ones?
Listen.
The malaria, malaria. Health insurance don't cover malaria.
Listen.
They don't cover diabetes.
Listen.
It doesn't cover this.
You don't want me to talk.
You see, the things that you have listed.
Go to Range Hospital right now and ask them that you want to check your sugar, whether you know people.
But you see,
go there.
But checking your sugar is not really.
So I'm saying that it is not part of our primary health care. It is not.
It is part
Do you disagree?
You disagree.
Which ones?
That is not part of our primary
I am saying
health
that they listed a number of things that primary health care will do.
Listen,
and I said that 95%. It means.
Oh, Master, right now,
what did I say? I said 95% of the things that they are doing is captured by health insurance. Then I said the preventive part. Oh.
Just a second. You see, we have to come back to basics. What he's saying to you is that when you look at all the medical conditions that are taken care of by the primary health care,
yes,
right? Now, what the issue is that you need, in the past, okay, let me put it this way. It's true, you need a national health insurance card. Right, to be able to do that. But now he's saying, what he's saying is that there
I said the only difference is that you need a card.
What he's now saying to you is that what he's now saying to you is that the government wants to move away from a system where if you don't have a national health insurance card, you can't even check your blood pressure.
Your blood pressure is free even at the pharmacies. Today, every pharmacy does blood pressure for free.
Well,
it's free.
Let me even make it clear.
Blood pressure is free.
Let me even make it clear. Let me even make it clear.
What is it making? I am doing that.
That when you go to primary health centers,
I'm saying that
compounds or health centers, you don't even need the health insurance.
Yes.
It is not part of the credentials you present. So it is not a matter of national insurance. You understand? Listen.
Even in private pharmacies, it's free.
I'm saying that you can't go into a check compound and say that you want to get your glucose checked. You don't do that.
Because
the nurse actually said
that's why I told you that.
Now, President Mama is doing that because of how the trend of our mobility and mortality.
You said that several times.
And so you made a point that all the things you are doing,
I said 95% of what you're doing is captured by health insurance. That was when I came with.
But that is if you have the card.
Yes.
It's captured by why if you have the card.
If you heard my submission carefully, I said the only introduction now is that you don't need a card to go and access basic health care.
But that's what he's also been saying.
I also mentioned it. But I said that it is being captured by health insurance. And again, the funding for the free primary care is from health insurance.
Do you know why?
I mentioned that the funding is from the same health insurance. Why not expand it?
Today, you are not a diabetic. Do you know that? You are not a diabetic.
Yes, I'm not.
Let's assume you are not a diabetic.
Yes.
If you pick your national health insurance, that you want to go to Radio Hospital to check whether you have diabetes by
it's not free. I'll pay. I'll pay.
So it is not covered under national insurance. It will be better. You must be careful.
But if I have
diabetes wants to make it captured. President Mama, listen.
Diabetes is captured by health insurance.
When you were diabetic,
is it the treatment of it?
No, the treatment. Because you see,
it's not.
No, but is it the checking or the treatment?
Both checking. Because I'm coming. I go to Rich Hospital. No, I'm coming. I go to
Hold on. You're heckling too much.
No, else.
No, listen. No problem. That's why you're here.
I am also
relax. I think you're over heckling him.
No.
Allow him to talk small, and then you can say it is not true.
I'm saying that if I have symptoms, if I have symptoms of diabetes, things that I think,
and you go to say Rich,
I go to Rich Hospital. I don't tell him I'm coming to check diabetes.
Yes.
I'm sick, and I tell him when I'm coming. Then when I go and meet the doctor, which is everything captured by health insurance, the doctor will say, okay, go and check for diabetes.
Yes.
Because of the symptoms I mentioned.
That's
Nobody
true.
will just go there and say that I have diabetes, so I want to come and check.
Well, that's true.
You are a doctor, you understand this.
No.
But I don't understand why you want to do propaganda. No. There's no any discussion.
Let him land, and then you can correct him.
And that is covered by health insurance. What I'm saying is that in the past, today, before the rollout of this, in 150 districts, because now it is not nationwide, which is
it's a pilot.
Clear. It's a pilot. 150 districts, 110 districts are not part. In the 150 districts, if you go there today in the chip compound, you can access healthcare without a card, without a health insurance card. You only need Ghana card to be able to identify yourself as a Ghanaian. I am saying that the only difference today is that because you go there without a card. But in the past, if you have health insurance card, almost all the things that happens within the chip compound is covered by health insurance.
Right.
And this is a fact.
Right.
And what I say, almost all.
Not all.
So it might be one or two.
Okay.
So when he mentioned preventive in his submission, he mentioned preventive, and I said even the preventive, community health nurses do all these things. They do education, they do immunization, and they do all these things in the communities already. So I ask you to employ the community health nurses to continue their work. I never said community health nurses go and check blood pressure and so on. I never said that. Because I mentioned that my wife is a nurse. She was working in a hospital. She was sent to a community.
I'm also a medical doctor.
I'm telling you, she went to
know that.
But what I'm saying is a fact. I don't need to be a medical doctor to understand these facts.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I told you that at a point in time, she will go to even the facility twice. The rest of the time, she will tell you that we're going to this place to do education. We're going to this place to do weighing and so on. And these are the things that are captured under free primary health care. And I'm saying that. So there's nothing new. It is only a change, and you're implementing a policy on a broad leg because it is health insurance money that you're using. So you're not introducing anything new. The only thing is that you are doing expansion. That's all. That's what we're saying, that employ the nurses for them to work there. Fix the infrastructure. He's now telling you that we're now going to construct health posts and so on. When you have hospitals that are at various stages of completion, when you have to complete them, you're not completing them. You said you will construct 600 chip compounds for this rollout. Today, you are not able to even construct 10. And you have still rolled it out because
it is the basis for this.
Because Felix Pacho for 2 weeks ago said that you have not been able to do
more
it.
than that.
More than how many?
Alone.
Why didn't the president launch it at the chip compound? Because you said you do this in chip compounds.
Relax.
And he has to go to a district hospital.
Who said it will be done in only chip compounds? Who said it?
They said primarily. You even mentioned it here.
I mentioned chip compounds.
It will be in health centers.
Oh, Master, I want to
primarily. It is in the chip compound. It's all about talking. It's in your manifesto. I can read from the portion of your manifesto.
Let him come in now.
Yes, I can read from the portion of the manifesto.
Let him come in
now. Let me talk. I want to say that we are implementing free primary healthcare on a borrowed leg because we are borrowing money. We are taking money from NHIS. It is better to use NHIS money to implement free primary healthcare than to divert, to cap, and realign NHIS money to do things that are not under NHIS or health related. The government has prudently managed NHIS resources more than your government. That got more.
We were paying. We were up to date on our claims.
We kept and
we were up to date on our claims.
Listen.
So how did we manage it?
Why is it?
Let me.
But will you come back to me because he started? I did a rebuttal. So definitely.
You said when you are talking.
If you
have lied that
I'll bring in.
You lied that you paid NHIS claim. Meanwhile, we came and inherited NHIS claim of 600 million.
If you had how many watches?
We are. It doesn't matter. You left
it matters because you see, NHIS. If you go to it is within 3 months that they submit claims. Masa, you know, you're a medical doctor. You should know. So it is within 3 months that they submit claims. So if you left 600, how many quarters? That's very important for you to understand.
Let's not digress. Let's not digress on the importance of healthcare.
As we speak, NHI claims are not in arrears for 3 months.
Okay.
It will be more than 3 months.
Listen.
Today someone will go to hospital.
What is this?
We are doing education. We should
do you know this as a fact?
Yes.
That
He doesn't know. Today.
Oh, let me make
someone will go to hospital. So they will submit.
You don't want to make my point.
No, hold on. How do you know this?
When I'm talking
hold on.
You said you don't
hold on. How do you know this? What's your source of fact that NHIS owes 3 months? Do you know this as a matter of fact?
3 months?
Yes.
It's even more than that. It's about 6 months. Because you see, the thing is that I'm saying that the NHIS, there's no point in time in the history of NHIS that they don't owe more than 6 months. The reason being that if people...
Ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
Looking for the ultimate oil city getaway? Welcome to the Groove Esipon Beach Resort, where luxury meets adventure. Host your meetings and events in our fully equipped conference facility. Relax our sparkling pool, unwind in cozy rooms, satisfy your cravings at our scenic restaurant, and enjoy fun-packed recreational activities and a walk through our charming menus. Whether it's business, leisure, or pure escape, the Groove is your perfect destination.
Grab your bottle and unleash the taste of Storm Energy Drink. A bold flavor, a big attitude, feel the vibe, own the moment. It's your time to be different. Storm Energy Drink, make your mark. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health, not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
Banty, why you there? One line tell her today will give me my money.
Oh my guy, what's up? Oba un 17 and baby. Scan on ASA. 500 cities pay. Ah.
I see. Level don't change. Have to show me the way.
But there's some sorry Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Hwehwɛ kwan pa edubekɔ nkunimdie mu. Call on.us na me sign up. Ema ore mfi sɛ udi wo telephone number so ebeka ho uwie a. Afei, be games no emu. Hwehwɛ one shot game. Fasika kume bi to ho. Afei, numbers are free 0 to 99. Yedi wakuma pe. Na obenya sikache free 50 Ghana cedis. Kopim 500 Ghana cedis.
So it'll be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
It's Bemi. I'm boom. You be too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Africa's strongest arm wrestlers and the most powerful pullers are coming into town for the 2026 Africa Arm Wrestling Championships. It's 2 explosive days of strength, pride, and continental supremacy as elite athletes from across Africa converge to grip up, lock in, and go to war on the table for the title of Africa's strongest. Date 1st and 2nd May 2026. Venue Boteman Sports Complex. Come experience the power, passion, emotions, roar, chants as Africa pulls for glory and slam for the pain. The 2026 Africa Arm Wrestling Championship. Africa is coming. Accra is ready. Contact 0244 280802 for sponsorship and information.
Every Thursday morning, the spirit of the school come alive. From the marching bands to the dining halls, the fear and the panic stories, the convoys to old students' pride, to unforgettable homecoming moments. Metro TV brings you the school's homecoming show live. Relive the glory, celebrate the legacies, reconnect with the memories that shape legends like you. The celebrations, the anniversaries, the homecoming activities, and the legacy projects that you embark in your school. The Metro TV School's Homecoming Show comes to you every Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. live on Metro TV. This is the School's Homecoming Show live on Metro TV.
Across Ghana's cities and communities, one issue affects all of us: water, sanitation, and environmental health. As urban population grows faster than sanitation services, poor waste management continues to threaten public health and our goal of universal sanitation by 2030. Ghana has policies, infrastructure, and partnerships, but one thing that is missing is a strong central voice. And that voice is the Clean Report, a 1-hour weekly TV program produced by Ignite Media, bringing experts, field in
Street Jama vibe, Lucifer, don't shine, lead it here, fire, Tematek, no size. It's that 1964, we they come from far. From preschool days, now we be superstar.